Pasquale Buzzelli never thought of himself as extraordinary. He was just a young structural engineer when he first joined the Port Authority in 1992. But there was one thing about his life that wasn't ordinary. He knew the World Trade Center in a way most people never would. In 1993, he had been inside when a truck bomb exploded beneath the North Tower, a blast that carved a crater through the building's core. He escaped that day, carrying the memory like a scar he rarely spoke about. But scars have a way of resurfacing. 8 years later, Buzzelli was once again working in the towers, older now, married, expecting his first child. And without realizing it, he was standing at the edge of another unimaginable event. What are the odds of living through one attack on the World Trade Center, and then finding yourself inside the towers again when history comes for him a second time? Buzzelli stepped into an elevator bound for the 64th floor. It froze at the 44th. The doors slid open into chaos. People were tearing down the hallway, screaming, covered in smoke. The air was gray. Papers were everywhere. The entire floor looked shredded, like something had detonated nearby. Buzzelli stayed frozen inside the elevator. He didn't step out. He didn't ask questions. He just stared as the elevator shook violently beneath him. And in that moment, the moment he should have hit the lobby button and gotten out of the tower, panic took over. Instead of going down, he pressed 64 again. It was an instinctive mistake, a split-second decision that would trap him deeper inside the unfolding disaster. The doors slid shut. The elevator climbed. When it opened on the 64th floor, everything was calm, quiet, normal, no smoke, no screams, no alarms, a false sense of safety. What he doesn't know is that this quiet decision will place him at the center of the deadliest terrorist attack in American history. Pasquale walks straight to his boss, Pat Hoey, who is in his corner office. Pat is on the phone, trying to make sense of what's just happened. Pasquale asks what happened. Pat tells him he was thrown from his chair, hard. He doesn't know what caused it. He's trying to get answers. There's no alarm on their floor, no visible damage. It's calm here, but they both know something serious is unfolding. Pasquale sees his colleagues, Steve, Lisa, Franco, a small handful of others. Only about 15 people remain. They didn't evacuate. Instructions had come from building security. Stay put. The idea was to keep stairwells clear for firefighters. Let them reach the upper floors without obstruction. Pasquale picks up the phone and calls his wife, Louise.
Please don't be alarmed, but can you turn on the television?
Louise, confused but compliant, gets up and switches on the TV.
Oh my God. It looks like the top of your building is on fire.
What are they saying?
They're saying a plane hit the building.
Can you tell me where? Was it low, middle, or high?
It looks like it hit pretty high.
He needs to know. He's calculating. If the impact was low, he might be trapped above the fire. If it's high, there could still be time.
I'm on the 64th floor. I'm okay. We're going to figure out what to do.
Are you still in the building? You have to get out!
Don't worry, we're fine. I'll call you back.
Please, just get out and call me when you're safe.
The situation appears stable, for now. But then the second plane strikes the South Tower. Pasquale sees it on a grainy screen in a conference room. 2 planes, 2 towers. This is no accident. Pasquale calls Louise again after some time.
We're still here. We're getting ready to leave now.
Why are you still there? You have to go!
It's calm here. We're okay. The stairwells are clear. We're going to head down.
Please, just call me once you're out and far away from the building.
I will. I promise.
Outside the windows, smoke drifts. The building sways slightly. Eventually, smoke begins to seep into their floor. Pasquale and Pat walk the perimeter. They see it. It's time to go. Pasquale, along with a small group of colleagues including Pat Hoey, Steve Fiorelli, Lessa Trolla, Franco, and Janelle Guzman, decides to evacuate. Rosa was also among them. Flashlights, bottled water, final phone calls. They head to stairwell B. The group moved steadily, maintaining a calm but purposeful pace. On the 41st, they encountered a group of exhausted firefighters who had made the grueling climb up with full gear. The firemen were resting on the stairs, and as the group stepped carefully around them, one firefighter suggested there might be an operational elevator on the 23rd floor that could speed their exit. The suggestion was acknowledged, but no one took the offer. The risks involved made the elevator a non-option. The group pressed on by foot, sticking together. By the time Pasquale and the group reached the 23rd floor, exhaustion had settled in. Their legs were heavy, backs drenched in sweat. The stairwell had been clear so far, but the descent was grueling. The group paused. It wasn't a moment of rest. It became a moment of debate. The idea of taking the elevator resurfaced. Some members of the group wondered if it was a faster way out. But no one felt safe trusting an elevator in a burning building, especially now. Collectively, the decision was clear. They would stick together and continue on foot. Pasquale is halfway down the 21 St. floor stairwell when the building begins to tremble. It starts as a low vibration, deep in the concrete, a sound more felt than heard. The handrails shake. Dust drifts from the seams of the walls. Janelle and Rosa feel it first. They both stop. Their eyes widened. Then instinct detonates. They start screaming. Ahead of Pasquale on the landing, they spin toward the nearest door, pull it open, and disappear into the corridor, desperate to escape whatever is happening behind them. Pasquale doesn't follow them. The shaking intensifies. He's an engineer. He knows this isn't a normal sway. Something catastrophic is happening above. He jumps, not down the stairs, but across onto the landing. From there, he throws himself into the tight corner of the landing's walls. He squeezes his body into it as far as he can go. Knees pulled in, elbows tight, hands covering his head and eyes in a desperate, instinctive shield. Then the world comes apart. The concrete buckles. He can feel the structure collapsing in sections above him. Floor after floor, a chain reaction of destruction racing downward. He doesn't know how far he's falling. He doesn't know what's hitting him. He only knows the North Tower is coming down, and he is inside it. As the tower collapsed, Pasquale wasn't just falling. He was moving with the building. The landing he'd thrown himself onto didn't shatter instantly. It broke free as a single slab and dropped into the collapse with him still curled in the corner. His slab was sliding and tilting through the destruction. He wasn't in control. He wasn't steering. He was just being swept through a roaring tunnel of concrete, steel, and dust, somehow missing the beams and columns that could have killed him at any second. A violent drop, a jolt, and then everything stopped. Somewhere in the chaos, Pasquale lost consciousness. After 2.5 hours, Pasquale's eyes open. He's seated upright on a slab of concrete, slumped back against a bent steel pipe. His head rests on the metal, his body caked in soot. Below him, just inches from where he sits, is a sheer drop, a pit carved out by the collapse. He's perched right at the edge. He thinks to himself, "I'm dead. This is it. My body must still be down there in the rubble. My soul has left." He expects to rise above himself, to float free like he's seen in movies, but then a sharp ache in his leg. A cough tears through his lungs, filled with dust and debris. And just like that, he knows. He is alive. Pasquale leans further into the pipe, stunned, murmuring to himself. He starts to call for help, a weak, hoarse voice against the weight of concrete and steel. Time passes. Hours. He's still seated, unmoving. The rubble field around him is massive, fractured towers flattened into twisted terrain. No one comes. Then, a sound, a crackle of a radio, a voice. Across the debris, a firefighter moves through the wreckage, scanning the ground. Pasquale spots him, the heavy gear, the helmet. He yells out,
"Hey! Over here!"
The firefighter turns. At first, he thinks Pasquale is one of his own, a fellow firefighter.
"Do you need anything?"
I was in the building when it collapsed.
The man pauses, staring. Then,
"Holy shit, that's a survivor."
he radios in.
"We got a civilian here."
More rescuers appear. They move fast, laying a rope cradle across the wreckage. One firefighter knots the loops around a steel pipe behind Pasquale, anchoring the rescue point. Pasquale braces himself. He's helped down from the slab, landing hard on his broken foot. Pain rips through him. He winces but says nothing.
"We got some climbing to do. You'll be fine."
They begin the slow journey. Rope around his torso, arms guiding him from one set of hands to the next. Debris presses in on every side. At one point, a pipe swings loose and strikes him across the face. He doesn't flinch, just keeps moving. Then, light, the edge of the rubble gives way to open air. Finally, he reaches the West Side Highway. Fresh air hits him. He's taken into an ambulance. He asks for a phone. He calls his pregnant wife. Louise answers. There's a pause, then,
Louise, it's me. I don't know how, but I am alive.
not of fear, but of joy. She can't believe herself. Everyone in the room hears it. The whole house shakes with crying, laughing, and disbelief.
Pasquale? Oh my God! You're alive! You're alive!
Friends and family rush in. The air fills with shouting, sobbing, celebrating. At that moment, nothing else matters. Not the dust, not the pain, not the broken bones. He made it out. He's coming home. That night, Pasquale walked into his home and into the arms of his pregnant wife and waiting family. He was lucky, impossibly lucky. History would call him the 9/11th surfer. But survival has a shadow. And behind his miracle were thousands who never walked back through their front doors.